Welcome to episode 3 of Tunnelz. In this video we're going to be exploring the Tideway tunnel system, or more accurately I should say, I'll be showing you my failed attempts to get in Tideway. The reason for this is I want to show how much effort and dedication I've put into this mission. Also, by showing you my failed attempts, this gives you a really good overview and feel for how extensive Tideway is. Tideway is massive. It is a brand new under construction sewer tunnel across London. Now, it's very rare for the UK government to commission big infrastructure. The reason why they are this time is because they were forced to, because there is so much sewage flowing into the River Thames. London's sewer system is very old and is over capacity. More and more development has happened and the sewer system has not increased. This means regularly when the sewage system cannot cope, there's loads of sewage outfalls all over the Thames and the sewage just gets dumped into the river. Tideway is this large tunnel 40 metres deep being built which joins together all of the sewage overflows, so all this sewage now flows into Tideway. Tideway is many miles long, spanning across the entire length of the River Thames in London. It takes all of the sewage across the Abbey Mills pumping station, where the sewage is then dumped into the new Lee tunnel. So then, in this video, let's take a look through the Tideway network and take a look at all of the different shafts being built. Let's go! So then, this is a map of Tideway. Now the most western sites we didn't really take much look at because it's quite a bit smaller up there. So let's start off with this one, which is the one next to the Chelsea Flower Show. This site we tried to get in, but if you remember in episode 1, a lot of these Tideway shafts going down to the Tideway tunnel don't have any stairs in them. So even though we could get into the building site and have a look around, we couldn't get into the actual shaft or down to the tunnel, which was so annoying. So this one over at Chelsea Flower Show, this one also had no stairs and we were not able to get down the shaft to the actual Tideway tunnel itself. So let's head eastwards, stopping at every stop of Tideway and taking a look at what each Tideway site is like. The next stop heading eastwards is the Kirtland Street site. Now this one has a large shed over the shaft, and all of the sites have a large shed over the shaft at the main drive sites. This is where the tunnel borers are taken in and taken out. So these are the most major building sites. So effectively you can divide up the sites in Tideway to major and minor sites, with the minor sites just having a shaft down and often no stairs in the shaft, and the major sites being the main access points. This one seemed very secure, with no easy ways in and out, loads of cameras, and considering the shafts in a shed, it wasn't doable. So then let's continue eastwards, and the next stop is 9 Elms. We tried this one in episode 1 and it wasn't successful. The shaft looks like it's got a lot of potential. It's an exposed shaft, you can see right down it, but there's no steps going down it. So now let's continue eastwards and along to the next stop, which is Voxel. Now this site doesn't have a shed over it and does have steps going down, meaning that this site is a potential way of getting into Tideway. So this is a potential way to get into the Tideway tunnel. But there's a problem. The Voxel site is right outside MI6. And MI6 is full of cameras. It's the most secure building in London. And even though all the cameras on MI6 are to obviously guard the MI6 building, doing a major URBEX mission going in a building site right next to this very secure building with all of their security and how closely they're monitoring what people going past this building is crazy. Yeah, that's getting very risky. Okay, let's now skip this one and continue eastwards and along to the next stop, which is Embankment. And we tried this site in episode 1. We got in the site, looked around, and we couldn't even find a shaft. The shaft is already capped off. It's one of the first sites where the actual shaft itself has been capped off and they're going to turn the top part of the shaft into some sort of garden or something. So heading eastwards again and along to Blackfire's. So Blackfire is the next site. Now, if you remember, there's the Embankment tunnel, which is this electricity cable tunnel. It runs along just under the street of Embankment. This intersected into the Embankment site. It also intersects into the Blackfire site. But sadly, they seem to be now onto it because both the Embankment and Blackfire sites, the way in through the Embankment tunnel has now been sealed up. So a lot of people must be getting in that way. So to get in the Blackfire site, we had to climb over the fence to get in. Triggered all the cameras, security came straight away, but luckily they were fairly nice about it. But we're still not able to get down to the Tideway tunnel because there was no stairs heading down. That was annoying. So we now have to continue eastwards. And the next stop along the site is Shad Thames pumping station. I don't know why this is listed as a stop on the Tideway tunnel, because the Tideway tunnel does not stop here. Yet this site is listed on the official plans of the route. Don't know why. So we skip that one, and along we go to the next stop, which is Chambers Wharf, the most major stop of Tideway. This is the most important spot where all of the Tideway operations happen from. Chambers Wharf is a very, very major site. So very, very secure. Not much chance of getting into this one. Or is there? So at Chambers Wharf, there's actually 3 different tunnels coming off of this site. There's the Tideway tunnel heading westwards, back the way we came. There's also the Tideway tunnel continuing eastwards, and there's also an additional connection tunnel that connects into Tideway. Let's take a look at this connection tunnel. This connection tunnel connects the sewers from Greenwich to the main Tideway site at Chambers Wharf. So if we head down the connection tunnel, the first stop down the connection tunnel is Surrey Quays, Elms Street pumping station. This site has no steps heading down the shaft, so not doable. The next stop along is Deptford, and we really had high hopes of Deptford, so we climbed into a building site and let's explore Deptford Tideway site. We looked all over this site. There was some ladders heading downwards. But every route we went to heading downwards only went down about 10 metres and then stopped. Let's take a look around. So sadly, the main shaft itself does not have any ladders going down, and we were not able to get down it. And also notice there's these cages. Every time people want to go down this shaft, this cage is attached to the crane, and the crane lifts people down the shaft in one of these cages. That is so weird. Why would they do that? Why not just add steps down the shaft? So continuing down the connection tunnel, the next and final stop is Greenwich. And this connects the sewer system at Greenwich into this connection tunnel to Tideway. This is a major site because it's got a shed on it, so no easy access to the shaft. So we go back to Tideway itself and we now continue eastwards. The next stop is Whopping. And we found a sneaky way into this site because the outside of the site has a massive fence around it which you can't get over. It's a really high fence, like 8 metres high. But if you go down to the riverbank and go across the river and get your feet all muddy and go up the ladder, you can get into Tideway. So here we are in Whopping Tideway site. And here's the shaft. And it's got steps going down it. At last have we managed to find a way into Tideway. A shaft with steps. So we go down the steps to get down to the Tideway tunnel. And here we are at the bottom of Whopping Tideway shaft. Let's take a look around. So along we go to the Tideway tunnel, and what's this? We can't get through the tunnel. In fact, at the bottom of this shaft there's only one tunnel portal. Considering a Tideway tunnel is meant to connect through every single one of the shafts, you'd expect 2 tunnel portals at both directions in Tideway. Now this is where this gets incredibly strange. because we're now going to take a look at the official plans of Tideway. And here is the whopping site, and you can clearly see they've marked the Tideway tunnel to intersect through the whopping shaft, just like it intercepts through all of the other shafts. Except they have not built it to what the plan shows, because in real life it's not like this. The Tideway tunnel does not intersect the shaft, and they're going to build a little connection tunnel connecting the shaft to Tideway itself. Which seems like a very stupid way of doing it, because effectively they're building a brand new tunnel, then smashing into their brand new tunnel to make its connection tunnel to the shaft. Surely it would have been easier to actually have made the tunnel boring machine go into the shaft itself like it did everywhere else. This site is confusing. It doesn't make any sense. Why would they construct it like this? But at least we know there's a way in, meaning we can return once that connection tunnel has been built. So then, before we leave the whopping Tideway site, let's first see if I can get the lift to work. And sadly the lift refused to move, which was very annoying and disappointing. So we now leave the whopping site and we continue eastwards. The next site marked on the map is the Kirtland Street site, except again I do not know why they've marked this site, because this is not actually a stop on Tideway. So continuing eastwards, and the next stop is Abbey Mills, the major pumping station, the end of the line. This obviously is a very major site, not much chance of getting into this one, and this is where the Tideway tunnel connects into the Lee tunnel, and the Lee tunnel is a new sewer just been built, the deepest tunnel in London. And obviously we can't go in the Lee tunnel as much as we'd like to, because it's full of sewage. So several months later we now go back to Whopping, and once again we enter into the Whopping site and we go back to the steps and go down the shaft. But it's been a long time now. They must have now connected up the Whopping shaft to Tideway by now, and we get to the bottom and we find the connection tunnel has been built. Is this our lucky moment? Are we now able to get into Tideway? Well, let's go and take a look. And the connection tunnel leads through to this? What? What on earth's this? This is the Tideway tunnel, but they haven't smashed through it. So they've built the connection tunnel, and the site's been inactive for months. You would have thought I'd finally have connected it through, but they haven't. They've just left it like this, meaning we are still not able to get in Tideway. This is turning into a very frustrating mission. We've put so much time and effort into this, and yet we still are not able to get in the tunnel. So we're going to have to go off and come back again. So a few more months later, we return back to Whopping. In fact, it's now been almost a year since we first went here, and Tideway is almost complete. Surely by now, we can now enter into the Whopping shaft and get into Tideway. So we return yet again. Get my feet all soaked walking through the Thames to get to the ladder to get into this site. And we go down the stairs. So here we are again, back down in the Whopping Tideway site, and let's take a look at a connection tunnel, and this is our lucky moment. No, once again they still haven't broken through to the Tideway tunnel. Oh my, this is getting fucking frustrating now. So, that's the end of episode 3. But in episode 4, we actually managed to get in Tideway, so stay tuned to episode 4.